Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in today's third video. We're going to have a look at the weather next 10 to 14 days for today's third video. So day 10 will take us to around the 3rd of March. We had to extend out beyond that. We extended GFS and ECM ensembles, maybe run to around a couple of weeks. Going to have a look at CFSB2 at the end of video for the next 4 weeks. That'll take us into the second half of March. We've been a busy day at GWV Links today. So we started off with the ENSO update for this month. So that brings you update of everything going on ENSO-wise with La Nina and so on. And, of course, we've also had our ECMWF 30-day forecast. Well, do check out today's videos if you would like to do that. Right, so just bring you update what's happening with the subs. So we're at 10.7k subscribers. Subs have slowed down quite a lot. So if you are new to our channel, please can you give us a sub. Don't forget to your friends, finding everybody else to subscribe as well. Thank you so much, everybody, for doing that. Within the GWV Links YouTube homepage, we now have a tab for store. If you have a look at that, that is where we're going to have our GWV's merchandise. GWV's merch is coming soon. Watch your space on that, everybody. You'll be able to get to our merch. So I think it'll show it like with the videos as well, potentially, but you'll be able to get to our merch store by clicking that tab just there. In fact, let's click it. It won't show anything now because we haven't got any merch at the moment. The channel has no items to purchase. But in time, in the next few weeks, merch will be appearing on there. So you'll be able to have a look at what merch we've got. And, you know, if anything looks okay for you, then you'll be able to buy a little bit of GWV Weathervids merch, which is going to be quite exciting, isn't it? So watch your space for GWV Weathervids merch. It is coming soon. And I'm hoping to be able to have some merch up for you within the next week or two. We'll see how quickly we get some merch going, but definitely it would be nice to get a little GWV Weathervids merch for you to purchase. So watch your space on that. Keep an eye on that page there, store, and you'll see some GWV Weathervids merch appearing there very, very soon, hopefully. Exciting developments. Right, let's move on with video then. I'm going to start off by having a look at latest observations from XE Weather. It's a mild day out there today. 16 degrees is being recorded at that particular station there in Calais. More generally, temperatures are a little bit lower than that, but nevertheless, it's pretty mild for the time of year. 11 degrees, for example, at Stansted. We've got 12 degrees at Bedford, 11 degrees at Church Lawford, 10 degrees at Cosford, and 9 degrees at Lake Vyrnwy. Going further northwards, got Leeming at 11 degrees. We've got Newcastle at 10 degrees. Into Scotland, we've got Strathallan at 10 degrees. We've got Loch Brascarnock at 6 degrees. So it gets colder further north. Out Har at 9 degrees. And down into Belfast, 12 degrees down to southwestern England. Got 10 degrees at Northwick. And into Ireland, we've got 14 degrees at Gertine and 13 degrees at Mullingar. Going to be even milder tomorrow. Temperatures could be up to 17 or 18 degrees in the southeast tomorrow. That'll be the mildest day of the week then. Through the second half week into weekend, temperatures will slowly drop, but will still be very mild, really. And with high pressure building in, turning increasingly dry as well. These were GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles. Let's go at Macclesfield today. So the red lines are 30-year upper air temperature average for Macclesfield. We're starting off mild and average at the moment. Going to go a little bit cooler into the second half of the week, but still generally quite mild. And then over the weekend into next week, looking pretty mild as well. Into March, that's this period just here. We still have these ongoing possibilities of colder weather. So we did a video yesterday saying that we may get colder weather into the second week of March. Those possibilities, that potential is still there within the GFS ensembles, and enough to reduce the ensemble mean. So the white lines ensemble mean, that's starting off significantly above average through next week. But as we go towards the second week of March, we definitely see a decline in the ensemble mean. So, you know, the possibility, the potential is still there that we may get something colder for the second week of March. We've still got to wait and see about that. But certainly the rest of February and into the opening week of March is going to be very mild and spring-like. Temperature anomalies on the 23rd of February to 3rd of March going to be rather mild on average, not just the UK, but through most parts of Europe as well. Precipitation anomalies from 23rd of February to 3rd of March going to be drier on average, especially so for the more southern and eastern parts of the country. Here's today's latest wind flow map from earthnullschool.net, showing that winds are going to be in from the south today and from southwest, and that's going to be the case for the next few days as well. You see this southerly is coming from a long way south, so it is bringing up really mild air. The air is originating from around here, kind of Azores, Canary Islands, and going to be wafting northwards in that sort of fashion. Right, so here's the UK Met for Friday. High pressure will be ridging up from the southwest on Friday, bringing plenty of dry weather with it into the weekend. High pressure will be dominating. Under this high pressure, we're going to see temperatures reducing slightly, so not to be as mild as it will be tomorrow, but nevertheless, we're still going to be into double digits widely, with light winds, hopefully plenty of sunshine. Should feel very pleasant by day. Nights could be a little bit on the cold side, though. As far as we go, the UK Met is to Monday next week, 1st of March, by which time high pressure still continues to rule the roost. This is how the GFS 6A is looking. Again, high pressure brings a lot of dry and fine weather with it over weekend and into next week as well. The high pressure drifts eastwards through the early part of next week. Winds pull up from the south, so just looking basically dry and fine, really, moving up towards day 10, and then the high pressure sort of re-establishes over top of the country. So it really is a high-pressure fest, isn't it, going through the next week to 10 days with a lot of dry weather. There may be fog by night with this high pressure. There could be frost by night as well. But days, you know, the sun is getting ever stronger now. The sun will be back in our hemisphere later on in March, so the sun's getting ever higher in the sky, and by day it should be very, very pleasant. Moving up towards the extended range, or out to the extended range of GFS 6, high pressure then begins to weaken, low pressure begins to move in from off the Atlantic. That might start to turn things a little bit more and settle through the second week of March. And the jet stream moving southwards as well. We have got a bit of a half-hearted Scandinavian high developing there by the end of the GFS 6Z. Winds have gone into the east. It's not a particularly cold easterly at that point, but it's just a general suggestion that the possibility is still there for something colder, either from the east or from the north, through the second week of March. No more than a possibility at the moment still, but we need to keep an eye on it. You know, we may get some colder weather later on into the second week of March. GM looks like that. Other recent GFS runs have been a lot colder than that, especially yesterday's 12Z and 18Z. To this morning, the GFS kind of backed away from like proper cold for the time being, but the hints are still there. So it remains, you know, very, very difficult to ascertain what is going to happen in the second week of March. Watch this space. This is how the GM looks. High pressure ridging up from the southwest as we go through Friday into the weekend. High pressure takes over, brings a lot of dry and fine weather with it into next week. High pressure is dominating, bit of retrogression there, taking high pressure towards Greenland and Iceland, possibly hinting at a little bit of a northerly trying to set in around the middle of next week. Could bring some colder air to the north and the east. -5 Celsius ice is through the country there by Thursday, so definitely becomes colder with that north-northeasterly wind through the middle part of next week. And the high pressure sort of slips down over top of the country, cuts off the northerly, but under the high would be cold, especially at night. And just again, a lot of dry and fine weather, really. I am struggling for things to, you know, talk about at the moment, to be honest. Going into a very, very quiet period, as we often do in early spring. This is how the ECM is looking again. High pressure ridges up from the southwest on Friday into weekend. The high pressure will dominate the weather, and that continues into the early part of next week as well. And up to day 10, the high pressure is trying to get up to Scandinavia. So by day 10, it's trying to introduce an easterly wind. Not a particularly cold easterly, but again, the possibility is there of something a bit colder by the second week, end of the first week or into the second week of March. This is the precipitation forecast based on that ECM run. So most of the rain will be piling into the north and the west over the next couple of days. But of course, over the weekend into next week, it will turn dry under high pressure. Gradually through the course of next week, it begins to turn a little bit more unsettled, especially so for England and Wales as we run up towards day 10 and the wind turns into the east. These are the options on the table within the ECM ensembles today for day 10, which will get us to the 5th of March. 25 members of the ECM ensembles will have high pressure to our north, and winds will be coming in from a bit of an easterly direction. So maybe starting to get a little bit colder by day 10 with a bit of an easy wind. 25 have the high pressure, a little bit more to the northwest. Again, pulling the winds around from an east-northeasterly direction. So there is a possibility here that there's going to be a lot of fine weather, high pressure in control, but things might start to get a little bit colder as we drift out through the first week of March. In 2 weeks' time, these are the options that we've got. There's quite a few of them. Gets us to the 10th of March. So into the second week of March, we have 15 members of the ECM ensembles that have high pressure right over the top of the country, but 14 with a really big change, bringing deep low pressure in from the Atlantic and strengthening a westerly flow as well. Could be a little bit on the cool side with that too. We might be lining the jet stream up northwest to southeast. So yeah, much more unsettled with that one. 11 have high pressure to our northwest, and they're pulling around the wind from an east-northeast direction. That's probably the coldest option. And then another 11 down here have deep low pressure over northern and western Europe, with high pressure going up towards Greenland, and possibly bringing in quite a cold northerly or maybe even northeasterly. So it does look as though some sort of pattern changes in the works here, I think, for the second week of March, given the range of options that we've got. And, you know, got 14 there that are unsettled, and 11 here that are unsettled but colder, 15 anticyclonic, and 11 there but quite cold but drier. So I think there's a bit of a pattern change in the works here for the second week of March. And again, the possibility is there that things might get colder into the second week of March. I certainly would not rule out the possibility that we might have one last quite cold spell. Have to wait and see. CFS-V2 finally, these are 500 millibar heights breaking down into week periods. The first week period takes us from the 23rd of February to the 1st of March. Of course, the coming week will be dominated by high pressure over and to the east of the country, and drawing up those very mild southerly southwesterlies. So going to be a lot of dry and pretty mild weather to come. Week 2 is going to take us from the 2nd to the 8th of March, and again we'll have high pressure, this time more or less over top of the country. Week 3 is going to take us through the 9th to the 15th of March. So this second week of March that we think might get colder, to CFS today has a high pressure sort of over to the east of the country, which would draw up like a southeasterly type flow. And that'll be quite mild, so definitely no cold snap for the second week of March with the CFS today. If anything, it's just spring-like. And then week 4 is the 16th to 22nd of March. Then we have a Scandinavian high going on. And we're trying to get wind back into the east. Of course, in the second half of March, it becomes harder to get cold air from the east. The further on we go into spring, if you want cold weather into the spring, who does really? But if you want cold weather through the spring, the way to is more from the north than the east, because the further on you go into March and April, the harder it gets to pull in cold air with easterly winds. Easterlies through the spring will tend to just be dank and pretty grim through the early part of the spring. Anyway, so it's all to be revealed, really. We can definitely say, like, the next week, 10 days, high pressure is going to bring a lot of dry and mild weather. What happens after that is all quite mysterious, I have to say. There's all sorts of possibilities within the works, probably indicative of some sort of pattern change. Do not rule out the chance of something colder into the second week of March, but conversely, do not rule out the chance or the possibility of like spring-like weather continuing, or a change to just unsettled weather really could take place. So it's all to be revealed, all to play for, and we shall see. Time will tell. If you've enjoyed the video, then please click the like button. Make sure to subscribe to our channel. You're going to be able to see future weather content if you do that. Don't forget to tell your friends, family, everybody else who subscribe. Everybody who subscribes brings a friend. We'll get to 11k subscribers eventually. And drop a comment and let us know what you think about this and all of our videos. Thank you so much, everybody, for doing that. Right, that's it for today's videos. Then tomorrow, no Wednesday live stream, of course. They're on the back burner for the time being, as things are so much quieter now. But we will have a 10 to 14 day video upload for you. So, yeah, video coming up tomorrow instead of a 10 to 14 day live stream. And also USA forecast as well. So, check out tomorrow's videos tomorrow. For this one, though, that's all for now, and thanks for watching.